So get off of the street or sterilize, lobotomize, left in a car and eat. Cause the things you say and do tell me your brain cells off a few, and that is why I hate you.
What's up, everybody?
Hello.
Yeah, I was talking to my wife about
And that is why I hate you.
every episode now. That's our thing. What's up, everybody? Hello, hello. And I was talking to her, and then we were talking. My daughter was like, "I want to do the podcast with your daughter," and I was like, "It would be really funny to have the two of them, and you just hear my daughter go, 'What's up, everybody?' and then your daughter go, 'Hello, hello.'" And then they just start talking. People would be really fucking confused about what they were listening to.
It'd be purely nonstop talking, at least on my daughter's end.
Oh, it would be, yeah, they would be talking over each other and trying to explain to each other things that each other already knows, if it's anything like my daughter.
Yeah.
My daughter loves to explain things to you that you already know.
Or my
Like-
daughter will start pretending it's a YouTube channel. Start
That
giving
sounds very
audio
likely.
tutorials.
Oh, if we did my son, he'd be like, "Hey, what's up, everybody? Don't forget to like and subscribe. Oh, I got this bottle of prawn right here.
Yeah, my
I
son
got
wouldn't
2
do
billion
it.
subscribers."
My son is not into that.
Yeah, I
Luckily.
can see that. My daughter, the other day we've been talking about a lot of things lately, but we had a whole conversation about competition in school because they did this gym. Does your school do this kids heart health challenge bullshit
Not that I heard
stuff?
of.
Some gym challenge thing where they got to like jump rope and do all this stuff. And she was like mad because she lost. And-
Yeah, I think we talked about your daughter's inability to handle
we've
loss.
talked about this before. She's bad at both of them. Both of them are not good with handling loss. I wonder if that has anything to do with my inability to handle any sort of adversity.
Very partially. I mean, kids are generally
Yeah.
shit at balancing their emotions in a healthy way.
Well, I mean, that was part of what I was trying to explain to her, that those things are included because they're things you face in life. Like, you're going to face adversity in life. You're going to go through life and have, jobs you don't get, houses you don't get. There's going to be a million things, that come up that are going to, and that, that's part of why they're teaching you it in school now. So you can prepare for life where I don't know if you can hear my kids yelling at each other in the background.
I
right
did.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're yelling at each other about something. They have been at it. Here goes the dog. They've been at each other's throats a lot more lately. I don't know about your kids, but
Nope, they
for
have.
some reason,
Mine have.
yeah, I don't know if it's just the age they've gone to, but now they're starting to be more like antagonizing each other and trying to give each other a hard time.
See, it used to be one thing. My son wouldn't go out of his way to annoy his sister, but he's starting to get mad because my daughter throws rages. She has an emotional disorder, as I've mentioned.
Right.
So she'll rage out, and so he'll start picking at her. But now it's gotten to a point where he'll say anything. Doesn't matter how he says it. She'll go, "Well, he said it like this." Like, he didn't, because I was here and I heard him say it, and he said it barely above a whisper.
Nope, I know that's everything. He's trying to take this. Oh, he was doing, and it's hard because they both antagonize each other. So I can't tell who did. I can never tell who started it because they both started. And I can tell them specifically, like, go apart from each other and leave each other alone. And then they're 2 minutes later.
And then they just can't. They can't stay away from each other.
Yeah, they're desperate to fuck with each other. I don't know. I guess it's the age because they're obviously they're both around the same age. God, this dog! I'm going to murder everybody in my house. It's going to be a thing.
You're gonna join a statistic.
Do you ever wish that somebody gave you a reason to kill them just so you know what it would feel like? Were just like, man, I wish that guy would have swung at me so I could. Then give me a reason to kill him, and then I'll know if it feels good or not.
No, I've never had that feeling, but the only similar feeling I've ever had was when I came out of the army, and I was just like, wow, the simplicity because I left straight from like combat zone, and then I out processed.
Right.
So I didn't get the transition. Like, I didn't get a full like transition. And it was just
What
like,
would that include? Would that be like living on a base somewhere? Like while
wait,
you're still
what?
in a...
Which, like, the out processing?
Yeah.
Yeah, you
I can't
usually
believe
would
this
stay in your
motherfucking dog.
housing. Yeah, you either stay in your housing or in wherever your barracks or anything, and you have to take classes on like finding jobs with like other soldiers who are out
Oh, okay.
processing.
Yeah, that makes
And
sense.
it took me about I think it was like, I want to say a 3-week process, because you also have to like turn in all your gear. So every little piece of gear that they gave you, which is hard to keep up with especially if you've never used it.
Fair enough. No,
So
I was trying to figure out if it was something like after you out process, you go live like on a base where like it's a military community still, so you're still like kind of around military shit, and
yes,
then you
that is
transition.
part
Okay,
of,
all
and
right,
then you leave,
then you
and
leave.
you leave.
Okay,
However, they I don't think they pay for your flight. I think they might if you have to fly out, but I didn't. I drove across country.
just like chill, like there you go. We haven't prepared you for life outside of this,
Here's
but
the clothes you had when you came in.
here you go. Have fun.
Shoo, go away.
Yeah,
No, I mean, most of those
just to
guys would take
clarify.
their Dodge Chargers and leave. That's
I don't feel like I want to murder people. I just worry. I worry that I'll like it. You ever think about? You know why? It's because you watch so much.
You mean the Batman principle?
It's just no. You know what it's? You know what I think it is. I've watched so much American Horror Story over the last, I don't know, couple months now, and like every one of them, it's like somebody kills somebody, and then they realize how much they like it. And it feels really good, and I keep worrying like, what if I really like murdering people? What if I kill somebody that I'm like, oh my god, that felt so good? Because think about it.
That's
Think about it
kind
this
of
way.
how serial killers worked.
No, but
back
I mean,
in the day. Like,
here's how I think about it in my head, right? Like, some guy's being a dick to you. He's being such a prick, and like, let's say you're like in a bar and you just fucking punch him in the face. How good does that feel, right? It feels so good.
it's cathartic.
Wouldn't it feel even better to just murder them? Right? Wouldn't that be like another level?
Again, I don't feel
That's
that
what
way.
I worry about.
But
I'm not saying I feel that way. I'm saying I worry about it.
I don't feel. Again, to your point, and I'll get away from the backstory I was going with. I feel that it ends a problem, so it's more of a relief than it would be a joy.
Okay, it's like, okay, got it.
And the only guilt I would feel was doing the deed.
Got it.
So
okay.
It's not worth it. So it depends on how much of a problem it is in my life. So usually it's like, wow, it'd just be so easy if you were just not alive.
Oh, absolutely. That's a
like
different. That's a whole different.
But it's not
idea,
more
yeah.
so. Well, it would feel really good to kill you. Like, I just don't feel that.
Oh, I got it. Oh, thanks, wife.
I feel
wife
more
tea.
of a. Oh,
good wife.
Hello, tea wife.
Make him as uncomfortable as possible, Joaquin.
Oh, god damn it! Only reason she ever listens.
I will
to
try. With this headache, we'll see how good I do.
She can't hear you, which is good. Can you
I
close
know
the
she
door?
can't.
She's peeking at me like she's trying to spot
But she'll
or
listen to
something.
the episode and she knows I'm speaking directly to her.
She's gonna listen to this episode and think I'm gonna kill her in her sleep or something.
I'll have to get him before he gets me.
Oh no, she's gonna set the bed on fire. I once had a boss that said that met
What,
met
you
my
cannot
wife.
get out of the bed?
I had
capable of leaving a bed?
I had a boss that met my wife, who she's an evil person, but she met my wife and said she seems like the type of person that would like just be like all chipper and joy, and then one night she's just gonna set the bed on fire with you in it.
I mean, if I was to write a horror fiction about your wife, that's probably how I would do it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not.
Oh,
let's just say I keep fire extinguisher nearby the bed.
Ow!
I'm sorry.
So, I saw a movie on Prime. I didn't watch the movie. I saw the trailer and I saved it. Because the character in the trailer reminded me of your wife.
Oh boy, you're gonna have to send it to me.
I'm going to, but essentially is.
Boy, I hope I have noise reduction on for this.
What I don't.
Wait, did you hear the intro?
No, I didn't.
Man, I totally fucked that up. All right. Anyway,
Was I supposed to? because
Yeah.
I've been hearing it on and off. Like
Yeah,
sometimes it works, sometimes it
That's
doesn't.
because I left it in preview mode. I don't know. This is all staying in the podcast, by the way, so people understand how terrible I am at actually managing this process. Anyway, go ahead.
Well, there's this movie. I'm not going to be able to find it, but it's on Amazon, and it's a woman who she's a serial killer, and she kills people who don't fit her chipper, like beautiful, like life ideal.
This sounds
So like
amazing.
so like she's walking down the street and she's wearing like something that an art teacher would wear, like the flowery like dress that goes below the knee with like the thick straps on the side.
I
And
got it
I
in
think
my
it's
head.
Katie Holmes. It's a Katie Holmes movie. I think the actress is Katie Holmes.
Oh, she'd be good for that part.
And she's walking through and smiling, and this guy says good morning, and she's good morning, and he tries to pick her up, and she turns around and shoots him in the face.
I
Like,
messaged you.
That's great.
I messaged you last night about that link you sent me, and
Oh.
the Hunt, because I watched that when it came out during the pandemic.
Yeah,
I forgot how much I liked that movie.
it was
good.
fun. It was a real fun movie.
It was. I mean, it was to the point of the video you sent me. It was extremely politically charged with a bunch of like liberal.
Well,
elites
it is
hunting,
a politically charged movie. It's
hunting
just that
conservatives, but
well, the thing is that the point of that video was the guy was pointing out how these movies that say that their point is the politics don't have enough teeth to just stick with
Right.
their topic. They
And when it
usually have
comes
like an
down to it-
apolitical character. Or, yeah,
yeah, when it comes down to it at the end, like the politics didn't matter.
yes.
Which was
And-
very true. But The Hunt was such a good movie. It was so good. I actually went back and I watched a YouTube video of all the kills from the movie, and I was just like, oh my god, I forgot how good this movie was.
It was really good.
And what's her name? Betty Gilpin, the lead. She was so good. She was so good in that movie. She's got the one part where she kills the woman in the fake convenience store. And she's like, cigarettes and whatever are $6. You fucked up, bitch. And just shoots her in
Everyone
the
loves that
face.
scene.
It's so good. It's so good.
So the movie,
she was so good though. Anyway,
the movie with Katie Holmes is called Miss Meadows. It came out in 2014. But
it's an older
character.
movie. Okay.
The character reminds me of your wife.
All right, I'm gonna have to
100%.
watch the trailer. So you're gonna have to send me. If you're on your phone right now, you should share it and send it to me so I don't forget. And we're gonna have to check it out, and I'll show her.
Yeah.
I'll show her before she listens to this, so that she's
Oh
got.
man, that'll be so good.
So that
I wish
she
I would
can,
be there for that
I can be like,
reaction.
oh, do you think we should watch this movie? And then after the fact, she'll hear this and hear that it's her. But yeah, that movie was really good, and then they made good points about in that video you sent me about Cult and some of the movies I hadn't watched, but I finished Apocalypse. Did you watch Apocalypse? I told you I finished
I
it.
couldn't make it through Apocalypse.
Apocalypse?
I tried. It was such a doo-doo garbage.
It was the worst piece of doo-doo butter I
It's
have
just
ever
straight
watched
dookie
in my
butter.
life. Dude, it was
so
so
bad.
So,
Like,
okay.
you know what? Once the Antichrist character came up in his like overly flamboyant, but not in a good way. You know, like flamboyant villains are fun, but he just wasn't.
He looked like he should have been in Poison.
He was
Like
just
he looked
off
like an
and
80s
terrible.
He looked like an 80s hair metal guy. Like
Yeah.
that's what he looked like.
But he acted like a cross between like Severus Snape
Yeah, that's
and
a good
the
starting
main
point.
villain in the final Twilight movie.
I didn't see that,
He-
but I get to Severus.
He
he's just
seemed like both of those characters.
Everything he said, he sounded like this, and he
This
always
is really
talked
bad.
like he had this real purpose. And I'm gonna I'm gonna rail off my points about why I hated the season so much without trying to have any spoilers.
Yeah, go ahead.
One, you've got a show that's an anthology series where you can pick up any season and watch it standalone and enjoy it. Really, really good for any show because you could be in your 12th season and somebody sees the trailer and goes, oh, cool, I'm going to watch that 12th season even though I've never watched the series before. Why you make a season of a series where you have to have watched 2 or 3 other seasons to understand what was going on because they don't explain
Even just a little bit of it. A little bit of it.
Yeah, they don't explain.
Absolutely.
It's not like when you read a book that's part of a series where they give you the back. Like there's a lot of book series I read where you can read the book standalone and they'll be like, oh, okay, here's this character, and they'll give you an introduction to the character in case you're not familiar with them, so that you can still enjoy the story. No, not this. They don't give you any backstory or anything in the season itself. You have to have watched the prior seasons. So point number 1, you fucked up real bad. Point number 2. I don't understand any of the shit with the Antichrist. It makes no sense. None of it
And
makes
it
sense.
doesn't. I don't even think it resolves
they're-
correctly.
It doesn't resolve correctly. They start off the season and they okay, there's going to be spoilers. So if you don't want spoilers, then it's again
American
this
Horror
is
Story
season
Apocalypse.
9, I believe. Apocalypse is 8 or 9, might be 8.
I don't give a shit.
I think it's actually 8. But anyway, the Antichrist is a pussy bitch. Like, I don't know how else to put it. He comes up the whole series. First off, okay, let me go back. They set up the season. They introduce you to all these new characters with actors you're familiar with because you've seen them a million times, and you go, oh, here they are in their new role. 3 episodes in, they basically kill all those characters. Okay? Yep. Don't understand, because now I've invested myself in these new characters because I'm 3 episodes in, and you've killed them all. I don't know why. If you wanted to do that at the beginning, fine. Maybe where I hadn't gotten invested in characters yet.
And mind you, American Horror Story isn't that type of show. Yes, it kills off characters, but it's not that type of show to just like kill off characters real early.
No, but
you've already like spent
this
some
is the
time.
whole cast. This is the whole cast.
But no, what I'm saying is that is not what this show is about. The show builds up on the drama and the suspense of those characters possibly dying.
Yeah, and what's going to happen.
The consequences of that.
But this isn't even like over the course of the season. It's here's the cast. You've met them. We're actually even going to give you backstory and have like flashbacks to some of these characters, but they're all going to die in the 3rd episode. Every single one of them, because these actors are going to go back and play other characters that they played in previous seasons.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks for just totally.
When you find that out, when you find that out, that's when I think I was another part when I was done. Well, when you find out, oh, they only killed them so they don't have to have them play double roles the whole time.
Yeah, well, so that was like 2 or 3 episodes in, and then the rest of the season basically is a flashback. So they're like, it's the apocalypse. Here are the characters you're meeting. Okay, we killed them all, and now here's a flashback for 6 fucking episodes of how we got here. What the fuck?
We don't care about that.
I don't care. Yes. And then they go, okay, so here's the Antichrist. He was born at a murder house. He ages 10 years for no good reason other than we need him to fit our narrative for the season.
Which is something we already learned in season 1, right?
Well, he gestated quickly.
They inferred. Yeah, they inferred a lot of that stuff.
He gestated quickly, so they're like, your baby's way farther along, which would have been fine if they did that with the season and said, oh, he's growing at a much accelerated rate. But no. He goes to bed and the next morning he wakes up 10 years older. So instead of just using the natural progression of, oh, he's growing at an accelerated rate, no, he's just going to grow like 10 years overnight. And we're not going to lay into the groundwork we already set.
It also would have been way more effective if he was a kid. If they had like a young actor.
Yes. They tried to have a guy play like a 22-year-old and a 13-year-old, and it was fucking stupid. And again, his character is just a fucking pussy bitch the whole series or season. He doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know how to use his powers. He's
a joke character.
He's got to go from place
sounds like a joke character.
Yes, he jumps from place to place with people trying to help him become the Antichrist, which, by the way, apparently there's an Illuminati and they're all Satanists, which makes no sense. And he goes, hey, everybody, I want you to launch all the nuclear bombs. And they go, yeah, okay, sure, no problem.
Yeah, sure, let's do that.
The worst part of the entire season, the 2 fucking, I don't think you got to it, but because it's later, but the reason he's able to bring upon the apocalypse is because he meets these 2 tech billionaires who are like these incredibly smart AI robotics guys that they portray as the dumbest fucks in the world. They have these pumpkin pie fucking haircuts. They act like complete fucking morons. They do cocaine all day, but they're supposed to be these geniuses that help him essentially...
The Silicon Valley, like, entrepreneur type.
But they are the dumbest fucking people you have ever met in your life. Just watch a fucking... Just go to YouTube and look for a minute-long clip.
You want to know a good representation of that type of character in a movie? And I know movie or a show, but movie. Ex Machina.
Sure, absolutely.
Ex Machina did that kind of character really well. What the fuck is
Oscar Isaac, right?
Yes. Oscar, oh my god.
That's the perfect...
Like, he was insufferable, but he was that type of guy. Right.
Portray them as those types of guys. They're geniuses, they're incredibly smart, but they're evil. That would have been fine. No, they're complete fucking morons, but yet somehow they were able to help him bring upon the apocalypse and plan the apocalypse. But they are portrayed as mindless, useless, can't stay at ADD, stupid fucks with, again, the worst fucking haircuts I've ever seen in my life. So anyway, and then literally he goes to the Illuminati and he basically is like, hey, you guys all worship Satan, so launch all the nuclear missiles. And they go, okay, sounds good. And they portray all these Satanists as like loving the world and loving everything Satan has given them, because for some reason, and they basically everybody has sold their soul to Satan in return for something. But then they're totally like, okay with blowing up the world.
It's the Hollywood idea of how Satanism works, as opposed to like making it just make sense.
It's so bad. It's so bad.
By the way, my wife just came. Oh, sorry, go on.
They end the season with them defeating the Antichrist, and they're like, hey, which I'm not even going to go into how they did. It was stupid. They oh no, I do have to go into. They send the one witch back in time to kill him when he was still younger.
When he was a shot. Yep.
But like literally,
I saw that on YouTube.
Yeah, literally they 2 scenes before that, he gets shot up by Emma Roberts' character and dies, and then Satan brings him back to life. But then the other witch goes back in time and runs him over, and Satan's like, fuck
because
it.
Because Satan didn't care back then.
Satan's
like, not outside of time, apparently.
We're just going to let him die this time. And they made a really good point in a video I watched about it, where they were like, they could have had Constance, Jessica Lange's character from the first season, drag him into the murder house so that his soul would be trapped there.
That would be cool. Which
would have made sense. But instead, she literally says, go to hell, and walks away. And it's like, wait, isn't that where he's supposed to go? He's the Antichrist. Isn't that his home? Isn't he supposed to go back to hell? And then I was like, wait. And then they end it by having 2 of the random characters from the beginning hook up in this new timeline, and they give birth to a new Antichrist. So then I'm thinking, why doesn't Satan just have like 50 Antichrists born at once? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
There's so many rules.
None of it made sense. It was stupid. It was poorly written. It's like they were trying so hard to make things make sense that they forgot about a bunch of big questions and loopholes. Like I said, like, why does Satan only have one offspring at a time? Why doesn't he have 20 of them or 30 of them or 100 of them?
I can even expand my expansion of my suspension. I can suspend my disbelief to understand that, Satan can only have one child. Fine. But I can't suspend it so far that nothing he does fits together in any sort of way.
But
where,
that's what I
again,
mean.
The time travel thing, he protected this child as a baby in the first season.
Yes, he does.
Yet,
that's what I don't understand.
This witch goes back in time. Wait,
help me, writers.
Did you attack between Satan's blinks? Was he taking a nap?
I don't know. Help me out, writers. Just help me out. Give me think of some. One line to explain these things. Why he only has to have one spawn at a time. Why he's able to die in the past. Use his powers, or explain it as his powers weren't strong enough in the past, and that's why. Instead of having Satan bring him back to life, just be like, oh, he used his powers to bring himself back to life when he does.
They went full goofy. They might as well have just called up, if Tim Curry was feasible, just have him dress up as Satan or have him voice Satan, but just play a character in the show
in 1984 Satan makeup, just red makeup on his face with the little black eyebrows and a really bad set of horns on his head and a little tail and the pitchfork. Just make him look stupid.
It might as well, because it was that silly.
But me as having been an apologist for every season so far. I've been I actually thought it was good. This season was dog shit. So the next season's the slasher movie, 1980s one.
I think that one, from what I've heard, was actually not bad.
It shouldn't.
I haven't heard anything bad about it.
I think it'll be fine.
The newest season, at least the last season I heard, was kind of garbage. The one with Kim Kardashian.
Yeah, it's delicate. Look, I'm probably gonna finish watching all of them. This one was absolutely dog shit. But again, it's an anthology. Every season gets to be something new, so I'm okay with it's like the Antichrist. It's going to be reborn.
That's the thing with anthologies that I do like. I watch a lot of anthology movies, and it's one scene would be really good, the next one, not scene but segment, could be the worst.
Right.
So it's like, it's like eating mystery jelly beans.
Oh, I hate those things. Those
It's
things
just
are
like,
evil.
you don't get the booger one.
Well, why did who thought? Okay, two questions on those. Who thought it was a good idea to like have puke and booger and like those weird flavors? And then who figured out that they tasted right?
That's what I'm saying. Like, first of all, I feel like that was a remnants of the '90s kind of thing. When everything was extreme and extreme gross,
Well,
and Nickelodeon like had kids like reach into giant nostrils.
Did they
Like,
come before? I thought they were a Harry Potter thing because Harry Potter had the flavored
Harry
jelly
Potter, no, Harry Potter extended the.
beans. Okay, so they did exist ahead of time.
Gross jelly beans were around before that.
Okay, yeah,
the grossest of all jelly beans being popcorn. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah, I know you hate them. I don't mind them.
I hate them so much,
bacon
and I hate the
was
fact
it
that
for
they
me.
look like marshmallow jelly beans because marshmallow jelly beans are delicious.
You mix them up. I told you.
Just can't.
I told you. For me, it was bacon. After I had the bacon ones, like for like 2 years, if I smelled bacon cooking, it made me want to vomit.
You sick?
Yeah, it took me a long time to get back to enjoying bacon after that. Fucking bullshit jelly beans. Yeah, fuck them. But anyway, that's it. I don't want to rant a lot about a show that probably not even half of the people that are listening to this have seen. But it was just so fucking bad and such a disappointment. And just like I said, the whole time I was just like, help me out. Just help me, writers. Just give me something to hang on to so that this isn't ridiculous to me. So anyway, I will continue my journey through AHS and continue updating. But also my Law and Order journey, Sam Waterston, a longtime actor who played the district attorney, Jack McCoy, left on the last episode.
Okay.
400 episodes he did. Can you imagine doing 400 episodes of a show? It's so
if
crazy.
I'm getting paid, yeah, I can imagine doing that.
It's funny because I'm watching the episode. He's older than Biden. He's like 83, and I think what's like 81. And I'm like,
if he was still acting while he was that old, he was enjoying it.
Yeah, but I'm watching it and I'm like, he's lost a step since, 30 years ago when he was on the show because he's 30 years older. But I'm watching, I'm like, this dude seems fine. Like, Biden by comparison still, it's like such a corpse. And this dude's 2 years older.
I mean, granted, evil takes a toll, but I mean, just say.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say. I was actually gonna bring up a slightly different topic.
That's fine. I was gonna segue too, so you segue first, and then I'll segue later.
I wasn't even segueing. I was just hard breaking.
Oh, see, I had an actual segue, but that's fine.
Oh,
go ahead.
Then I will give you the segue because I usually segue.
I was just gonna say, well, speaking of politics and stuff, but that's okay. You go ahead. You break in because I've been talking about.
Well, everybody is like, arguing online, but that's not new. But they're like complaining online about, that's not new either. People are talking online. Oh man, are online talking about the new. They released. James Gunn released the symbol for Superman.
Yes, I saw that the other day. Yep,
which really nice. We all knew what it was going to look like, but I like the cloth look of it.
To me, it just looked like a normal Superman suit. The quality, the
well, they didn't show the suit. They just showed like
the S.
Off. Yeah, an off.
But I mean, it
S.
just looked like the regular S. The colors were cool. The fabric looked cool. But I mean,
it wasn't too bright, wasn't too dark. All that stuff. And we still need to see David Cornsweet in the, or is it something Cornsweet? Dave, I think it's David.
Dude, I have no idea. I don't know what his name is.
But people are complaining, and what's his name? The guy that played Arrow. Apparently, this is I watched it, and I haven't dug super deep, so it could have been an out of context clip.
Sure.
But during a panel was asked about being a part of DC, the new DC initiative, which I was like, no. But he was just like, they should just stop talking and do something. They should just make something. I want good content. Like, first of all, dude, I don't think I've seen you in anything since you were in Arrow. And two, you were in the CW verse. Shut the fuck up. You were in the CW verse. The worst of what DC can offer.
The C being the key there. The C level DC universe.
And yes, you were the best show out of them. But that's like putting a diamond on top of a pile of crap. Okay.
Yes.
but are you going to get your hands dirty to grab that diamond?
Oh, man.
I watched,
this is.
and
I got a
not even
segue.
not even to mention,
Just for a second.
okay,
After you're done.
not even to mention his character was not even a faithful adaptation of the character he was supposed to be playing. So we gave him a lot of leeway because he was the first, but he was essentially just Batman. So
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I didn't watch it, but yes, yeah, I know.
Shut up. Yes,
I mean-
obviously, you said the obvious thing. We want good content. Duh. But now James
No
Gunn and his team apparently have to wipe away a bunch of the garbage that WB and Discovery and whatever the first Snyderverse stuff. He has to wipe all that stuff out.
Well, that's
and,
what
and
I don't
I'm sorry, while that
understand.
stuff. Well, that's what I'm saying. And
No, I'm just
sorry, go
I
on.
don't get, like, every time I read about it, they're like, oh, it's not a reboot. It's just like a soft reboot. Like, it's not a total reboot. Like, why? Why not? Why isn't it just
that's
a total
the thing.
reboot?
We don't know. We don't know necessarily what's canon, what isn't. They're treating it like comics, which is already convoluted. So I will wait and see. And on top of that, while all the Snyderverse and stuff was coming out, people were like, we need a break from superhero movies. And now, essentially, with DC, we are getting a break from superhero movies, but now it's not enough. Which one is it?
Well, you're getting a break from DC, but Marvel. Well, no, Marvel's taking a big break this year too because
and
everything
Marvel
got pushed back.
Also hasn't really been. Let's be real here,
dude. I have such fatigue with superhero movies like Marvel at this point. I don't really care. I care about Deadpool 3 because it's Deadpool. It's gonna be funny.
Deadpool and Wolverine. It's not even just Deadpool 3 anymore, and I'm like, yay!
Right, Deadpool and Wolverine. Yes, so like I'm looking forward to that because it's Deadpool and Wolverine.
But that's what I'm saying. Like,
but yeah,
there's a reason why we're not fatigued from a Batman movie or a Deadpool movie.
That's a good point.
Or,
Batman, same thing. I would be on board with a new Batman movie tomorrow. Sure.
Or like very specifically, the reason why the Marvel formula was never meant to last. I don't care what anybody says. They did a formula that worked, but it was never meant to last.
Nothing is meant to last, except James Bond, apparently.
The Infinity War. Yeah, right? And past the Infinity War, the formula was not made to last.
You look at James Bond's done 28 movies in like 80 years now or something.
Yeah.
Where Marvel's done, 26 movies in like 15 years. Like, there's a big difference.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Again,
big difference.
There's always something. Now, here's the thing. If Marvel, people wouldn't really get fatigued on Marvel if there was variety tonally between. And this is essentially what James Gunn is claiming he's going to do.
Well, that's what Marvel tried to do with their TV series.
Not tonally.
With the shows.
With their TV series. Yeah. Fine. I will give you that. But even then, there's like a set of weird rules that they still have, Disney-ish rules that they have to follow. Because Moon Knight was not supposed to be as light as it was.
Well, did you watch Echo?
I have no interest in watching Echo.
Okay, I don't know if I've already talked about it on the podcast, but Echo was the worst dog shit I've ever seen. It was absolutely
that's what I've been
terrible.
seeing online. People are like, "What is this?"
I mean, it wasn't just bad; it was awful. And I give Disney, I give Disney and Marvel a pass. Like, Eternals was a bad movie by Marvel standards. Was it the worst thing I've ever watched? No. Do I regret watching it?
And Eternals was beautiful. It was just
that's what I mean. It wasn't a great movie, but I don't regret watching it. Echo was dog shit. It was just everything about it was terrible. There was just nothing good. Nothing. It's just like American Horror Story Apocalypse. There's nothing redeeming. Everything made no sense. It just was stupid as shit. Anyway.
No, and where I got heartbroken with their shows. Like, I stopped watching because people were like, "Man, Loki's so great." I was like, he's not the same Loki, so I just emotionally I can't attach. He's not the same guy. He's a different guy with the same face.
Yeah.
I have a hard time with that.
Yeah, I get it.
I suggested it as a me thing. I said that was a me thing.
Right.
But then they messed up Miss Marvel for me. I love the character of Miss Marvel. The actress I thought is perfect as Kamala Khan.
Well, I don't know about you, but that's why I love the character. She's fucking so good. Like, I like everything. Every time I watched that show, I was like, both me and my wife, we're both like, just want to hang out with her. She seems like she'd be so much fun to hang out with.
But then I played like I even pushed away
Delani?
like
Is that her name?
The fact that they changed her powers completely.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, fine, whatever. But then
My chair.
I saw the Marvels.
Welcome back, chair.
My daughter decided to watch the Marvels.
That was also
And
horseshit.
I was passively watching it at first, but then I started watching it more, going, "There's a lot that just doesn't makes the villain one. Her acting is like Power Rangers level. She acted like a Power Rangers villain
also,
the entire time while cosplaying as Ronin.
Also, it's Captain Marvel. You had a movie where she flies through Thanos' like gigantic fucking mega ship,
she can't,
destroys the whole thing, beats the fuck out of everybody, comes down, beats
they had
the
to
shit
kick
out of
her
Thanos.
out of the movie, so they didn't win.
Right. And then they have this movie where she can't beat, like, what was the villain in Power Rangers? What was that lady's name?
Nobody remembers her name because she's a gender swapped version of a side character from like the old comics.
Well, no, whatever the Power Rangers, that witch lady, whatever her name was.
Oh, Rita Repulsa from Power Rangers.
Yeah, so we'll call the villain in the Marvels Rita Repulsa. Rita Repulsa was like just this lady who like was strong, like, and then Captain Marvel's like, oh, I can't defeat her alone.
Even all three.
So stupid.
What? And you took a really cool gimmick of them, like, whenever they activate their powers, they, like, swap.
Yep.
That was interesting. Yes. And I thought that was interesting, but
I did too.
ultimately, that was it. It was a one-trick pony the entire movie.
They made it a buddy inhibitor, an inhibitor at first, and then they didn't do enough where they made it a tool. Like, they got to a certain point where they made it like they learned how to do it together, like how to use their switching to be. But they didn't do enough of that, though. Like,
nope.
That was dope once they did it, but they didn't do it enough.
I can't think of her name right now, but Photon, I think, was her superhero name. But
Yes,
the other Miss Marvel, because they're all Monica Rambeau. Thank you. She was extremely one note the entire time.
Yep, like, she wasn't the best.
She acted way younger than she should have.
Also,
they tried to make
spoilers, everybody.
Yeah, they tried to make Captain Marvel likable, which I'm sorry, the damage.
Everybody hates Brie Larson now.
Brie Larson sucks. Brie Larson herself. There was enough damage. The damage was done by her.
That's what I mean. Everybody hates Brie Larson.
If the character was unlikable and she didn't say anything, because I'll even say, even with Ben Affleck moping when like Batman v Superman didn't do well, if he like stopped moping, things probably would have been a little bit better received.
Yes.
Because I liked his Batman, I liked his Bruce Wayne, but he moped way too much in real life. Brie Larson.
A Batman that I don't like other than Clooney. I mean, he's the only one that I really didn't care for.
You know what? Yeah, you're absolutely. Well, Clooney wasn't even Batman. He was literally just Clooney.
Yeah, I mean, well, that movie was a joke in general, but he's the only Batman that I can honestly say I didn't care for.
You're absolutely right.
The rest of them were fine.
Like, and you know what? Again, I won't get into the Batman thing right now because I can talk forever about Batman.
I know you can,
but shut up. But
I didn't mean it in a bad way. Batman's dope.
But Brie, she made herself extremely unlikable.
Right.
Trying to inflate her own ego because
wait.
And I don't.
Are you allowed to say that? Because remember when people were saying Elizabeth Warren was unlikable, and then like everybody flipped out about that. Because you're not allowed to say a woman's unlikable.
Is Brie Larson a
political candidate,
activist? In any
I don't know.
Real
I don't
feasible
activist,
or does anything good for any? I don't outside of their art. They don't know who I am, so I don't care if they I don't care. But I saw interviews with her, and she was just. It wasn't from people who don't like her. I mean, I actually watched these interviews and going, she really seems like a cunt.
Wow! Ooh, the C word.
And it wasn't, and I mean that
she just
the word specifically has to be used for the way she acted.
No, you're absolutely. She seemed put off, and she didn't want to be there, and
or she had to be the best out of every. If you bring up anything, she has to be the best. You know what? She's that little girl on the playground that makes up all the rules, but then if she doesn't follow the rule, it's okay.
Just in the idea in general that she seems to think that she seemed to think that the only reason people didn't go see Captain Marvel or wouldn't go see Captain Marvel was because she was a woman and it was a woman.
It's that's not true at all.
It's
people love Gal Gadot.
Yeah, Wonder Woman did amazing. I mean, there's Gamora is one of the best fucking characters in the Marvel series. I mean, there's plenty of great.
Wonder Woman,
Nebula and Gamora are probably two of the best characters in the entire fucking
oh
universe.
my god, Nebula! I am 100% in love with that character.
Yes,
like she carries she carries all the movies for me.
Agreed.
And I love Guardians of the Galaxy. That's my favorite Marvel series of films.
Same here, absolutely.
But
again,
Nebula's
like,
the
to
best.
your point, like it was like she couldn't acknowledge the fact that maybe the movie wasn't that great, or she didn't do a great job, or whatever.
It was funny. No, she ignored the fact that most of the nerds that were like screaming how much they hated her and hated the movie,
the like 10
were
of them
also
on Twitter
saying we want a Black Widow movie if we're going to have like if you're going to make the female-led movie and you want to do that, there's somebody who has seniority over you,
which is a good point. It's a good point.
And
which was also a better movie, by the way.
Huh?
Black Widow was also a better movie.
It was a better movie. I still wasn't a fan of it, but it was a better movie.
I wasn't necessarily a fan of it, but Russian accents. So I mean, it's automatically better.
That's like your that's your Achilles heel.
Anybody with anything with Russian accents in, I'm gonna love it. No, but okay, just really quick back to the Marvels, just to end my point. The fucking ending of that movie where she has to like close the fracture in the multiverse, Monica Rambeau. Why did she have to go inside the hole to close it? Why couldn't
because Iron Man did that.
But why couldn't she close it from the side she was on? It didn't make any sense.
Because there always has to be a sacrifice.
But it didn't make any sense.
No,
that's what ruined that movie for me. I was just like,
there was nothing they did in that movie that made sense. There were several things.
But again,
I remember looking at the movie and scoffing at and like openly saying how stupid it is, and I wasn't thinking when I said it, and my daughter would look at me and go, "What? Why is that dumb?" I went, "Oh, I'm sorry, I shouldn't say anything."
But it was just,
you're enjoying the movie. That's the point.
Help me out, writers. Give me a reason. Give me a reason she has to go to the other side to close it. Just
I can give you a meta reason.
No, writers, give me a single stupid fucking line. Even though I'll make fun of the line and be like, well, that's silly. At least you gave me a line instead of her just voluntarily going to the other side and going, well, I guess I'm stuck here now.
She didn't know she forgot how to reverse. Like,
she got confused. She thought she was on the right side. She got mixed up.
I would accept that. I would 100% accept that.
That would have been funny though. At the end, she goes, "Oh shit, wrong side." Then I would have laughed.
But they didn't. But even then, okay. So we have the post. It's not a post. Like mid-credit scene with Monica,
right? And Beast.
but she's going, mama, to the other.
Oh, her mom version. In another multiverse. It's another dimension. Actually her mom, right?
I was like, first of all, let's. We get it. We absolutely get it. But you're grown. I'm so tired. This entire movie, she has not been acting like an adult.
Yeah, that's true. All. She was a grown woman.
My dad, I didn't grow up with Monica Rambeau. Like, I knew who the character was and everything, but I didn't really care.
Got it.
But my dad did, so I did know a lot about her.
Okay.
And this was stupid, the way she looked great. Her costume looked great. I like the actress.
No, they do a good job with all that stuff.
That was awful. It's the way she acted. I get it. Like it had to be the directing. The direction in which they told her like how she should.
Don't say that because a woman. What's her name?
Deal with the trauma.
A woman directed it.
You know what? I'm going to say this right now.
A woman director. Were you trying to say that women aren't good directors?
If you are an artist of any type and you receive criticism, because criticism comes with art or putting things out there, because you put things out there.
Yeah.
If your first thing, not even your first, within your first three defenses it's because I'm a blank. I'm going to tell you to sit down with your face in the corner.
Didn't we basically do a whole episode on this? Didn't we already do this episode?
I don't know. It so commonly happens.
We did an episode on this. It was I got to go back and look now.
Oh yeah.
We've done so many episodes, isn't it? I forget. We did this episode though. I forget.
Because this week alone I've heard that come up 3 times.
Yeah.
Specifically it's because I'm a woman. I've heard that come up 3 times this week, not for me personally, but as an excuse to something being done.
Oh, we did as holes, as a woman, as a man,
as a woman, yeah.
this. So I guess that's not quite the same. Yeah, it's not quite the same.
But yeah, just that's one of your first defenses to go to, because I'm attacking your art, but if you want to put yourself in the way as a shield,
well, you know how it is.
Go ahead.
Nobody likes criticism, so if they can come up with an
nobody
excuse
does,
for
but
it, they're gonna jump on it.
You know, want to know something people do like? Criticizing.
Yeah, I mean that's why we have this entire podcast.
This whole podcast is criticism, and you know what? And I welcome criticism, and not saying it doesn't bother me and it wouldn't upset me. That's not how criticism works. But I'm an adult, and I know that I can apply it in such a way to do better.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I mean, even if I'm not actively listening to the criticism and I'm rallying against it, yeah, I'm still taking it in and trying to see how I might be able to apply it myself differently. Yeah.
And just randomly in news, since we were talking about the other, they're attacking me because I'm a woman thing.
Dude, I love this. Every time we record, I'm always like, you know, we always do banter before the topic. That's our thing.
But
and I'm always like, oh, I don't know what we're going to talk about this week. We've been recording for like 50 minutes, and we've got plenty to talk about. Every time I worry, I'm like, oh man, are we going to have enough stuff to talk about for our pre-topic banter? Anyway, go ahead.
Look, my headache edged off. I'm going to take this time.
Nice.
Take advantage of it.
I'm glad you're feeling better.
It's still there. I can feel it, but it doesn't hurt actively.
Well, you're distracting yourself, which is what I try to do. I try to distract myself when I have a migraine, so I don't think about the pain.
So, there is a woman. I don't know her name. I don't care. She's a Twitch streamer. I don't care about those people.
Let's call her Barb.
Why not?
So Barb,
she plays Monster Hunter on her streams.
Okay.
And she played it blindfolded. She did a blindfold challenge. Oh, so you're supposed to only do like by hearing, right?
Can I just comment on this? Why?
Yeah, go ahead.
Why do people do these challenges?
If they're challenges, because how else are you going to entertain people by playing video games online?
Nothing better to do than put a blindfold.
They get paid online to do it.
You couldn't pay me enough to sit and try to beat a game blindfolded. Like the frustration alone.
But you play video games to have fun.
Yes. You're talking about.
They don't. They do it as a business.
It's so stupid. And people.
That's why I don't.
People watch them play games instead of playing games.
I like streamers, but I don't. I know I didn't mean to say that. I don't like streamers, but ultimately I feel that I don't consider streamers, like at least popular streamers, as at least if they're game streamers, as gamers.
Okay.
Because they're not playing for the joy of it.
They're just playing to make the money.
When gaming is literally a joyous thing to do.
I do not
or a way to challenge yourself artificially without hurting anybody or yourself.
I don't like streamers because I'd rather play the game myself. I don't see the point in watching somebody play a game I could play by myself. The only video game streaming I watch is when they do the EA NHL championships. I'll watch those.
When you watch NHL though.
That's what I mean. Like it's to me, I'm like, oh, I'm watching like the best players in the world, go at it for the championship. It's kind of like watching a regular sport to me. So it's a little different. I get
the appeal of watching streams. One, I don't watch streams much. My sister usually does, but I usually depends. Like if it's a short horror game that I'm probably never gonna play, I'll watch it because I might be interested in the premise.
Okay, I was just gonna say there may be the only situation I would see myself would be if there was a game that I was interested in the story, but I knew I had no desire to play. Maybe I would watch somebody play through it or watch a YouTube video. Of it.
I also have a couple of friends who stream.
All of a sudden,
I don't know.
Is it weird? Yeah. Does it sound weird, like deeper to you?
It was a little craggly.
That's weird. Anyway, go ahead.
I also have 2 friends. I actually have 3 friends who stream.
Do they make money?
I watch a little bit. I know one of them is there. I don't know if they still identify as a male, but they stream, and I think that's their job.
Okay.
I think they
full time,
just
make
streamer.
money.
But you could tell when for instance, they're not super popular or anything, but they also aren't streaming 24/7 or like doing ridiculous challenges. The games that they play are not. They set their schedule, but they're not playing the same game over and over and over and over and over.
I get it.
Streaming like
was
Fortnite
always
every day.
Streaming was
like,
always weird
Fortnite
to me.
Streamers, I can't stand.
I always just assumed that people watch streamers only watch streaming because they wanted to watch the female streamers because they wanted to watch them sit around and like all made up and just be horny bastards. But it does seem like there's a decent amount of male streamers too, though. That
No, there are. Well, that's what's there are, but I don't consider it a streaming culture because a lot of people tend to just say, "Oh, it's just streaming in general." I feel like it's more so just the culture that Twitch created.
Okay.
Because of their bass backwards rules, and so like the girl that I was starting to talk about, she's a 30-year-old woman. But she looks like Sniper Wolf. If you've ever heard of her, she's
I know who Sniper
garbage.
Wolf is.
But she looks like her. Had breasts out.
Okay. Wait, this is somebody you're friends with.
Dark hair. No. This is the girl I was talking about initially that I was brought this up about.
With the right.
So she did the blindfold. She did the blindfold challenge to fight this really hard monster in Monster Hunter World.
Okay.
And she at one point stretches it out, and you can see that it's see-through. So she got a bunch of other streamers.
But what, like, how are you gonna get mad about that? You're watching somebody play a video game on fucking Twitch.
Well, it's because I think for anybody that's lying to get accolades, you have to at least lie well.
I guess.
So if you get caught, you deserve all the comical shame you're gonna get. That's how I feel.
Yeah, no, I guess so. I guess you're right.
Because you're deceiving people to get money. I'm sorry, that's what you're doing.
No, you're right.
So she does.
I guess
that.
I just don't feel
it's
bad.
It's not a big deal, but she doubles. She keeps doubling down, like coming up with dumb excuses. And this one guy goes, "Well, if she can do it again, then it'll prove without a shadow of doubt." Another streamer, really popular guy,
right?
It'll prove without a shadow of doubt that she's really doing it. So she does, and it's really awkward because now she has like one of those like sleep masks looking things.
But it's very clear she now does not know how to do it.
Well, no, she does it perfectly.
Oh,
and I mean,
okay.
like,
good
it's
for her.
not janky looking. It's like really
somebody else doing it.
It's like very smooth, and people are like, "Did she pre-record? Like, what's happening?
Yeah,
what's happening?"
Like that. Yep.
But then, so they looked at her old video, and they looked at this video, and they noticed that one, because when she was playing, she was postured up, like a gamer, like you look like a hunchback mutant, looking at the screen, which she shouldn't have been doing blindfolded anyway. But whatever. But now she's sitting up like this. And have you ever had like a sleep mask or a blindfold on?
Yes, of course.
If you lift your head,
I mean, how else am I going to go to these glory hole parties? I mean, I'm going to make sure I cover my eyes.
Oh my God.
All right, go ahead. Sorry.
That was you?
Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
She's sitting up like her back is super straight.
Okay.
And she's like looking down her nose.
Like
the whole video
underneath the mask.
Yep.
Bitch.
And she showed.
My God.
She had another camera up showing her two monitors. But what was really messed up is that she kept looking over to where her two monitors were not constantly and answering questions. Yeah.
Sorry.
And answering questions while not looking at those monitors when she didn't have her goggles on.
Right.
And it was like, does she have a third screen? So now people are like, she has a third screen because you can look at her inputs and she's putting in inputs, but nothing's happening. And she's looking over at this other screen, answering questions. And like, look, we don't care if you're cheating, but God, you're an adult.
But she's an adult, attractive woman who's going to get people watching her stream regardless. So why is she even bothering?
No, she won. In the end, she won. It doesn't matter. But it's not really a big deal. It's just that I have a really, really hard time with.
Well, she's grifting
people. Yeah, that with the people who go to bat for things like that.
No, I'm with you. Some bullshit.
Like it's just that weird mentality. She has boobies. She can't be wrong.
I mean, look, the way I look at it is if you're watching somebody playing a video game on Twitch and they trick you, you kind of deserve to be tricked. Sorry. Like,
no,
you have
I
to know,
absolutely agree.
You have to know what you're getting yourself into ahead of time. Not that you deserve it, but like you have to know that there's a possibility that's going to be happening. Sorry.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, there's people who watch videos of this one guy. He's a gambler and he doesn't take any personal responsibility. There's literally people who give him money to gamble.
oh, so he just streams himself gambling.
Yep, he's self-destructive. Huh. He screams all the time. He has mental breakdowns.
What happened?
And
remember when gambling was illegal?
He's like, can I get like, you know what? None of you will help me. None of you people will help me. Nobody ever helps me. I'm like,
you get free money from people?
They literally pay you to, like, this man won, I think $20,000.
Okay.
And then in the next hour blew it all.
Well, do you remember when, like,
not on
you
actual
gamble?
things, he gambled it.
Like, you used to not be able to gamble. Like, now there's casinos everywhere. You can go online and gamble on any website. You can fucking...
Kevin Hart promoted a gambling thing to me.
Sports betting used to be like, Kevin Hart's got his. Yeah. You used to get in trouble for sports betting. Now there's like 18 apps, and during the game, they're like, hey, look, even though the game's almost over, you can still go bet on this shit. Go bet your money, man. It's so, and they're all cozied up. All the sports industries are now partners with these sports betting companies, which seems like really fucked up thing to do.
It
does
sounds
not
very
seem kosher to me,
doesn't it?
It seems very unkosher to me. I mean, you're not like, and the fact that you can bet on WWE shit is insane to me.
You should never
why you can bet on WWE is crazy. But anyway, and they're partners with sports betting companies.
Is that? Please tell me that's not real.
No, you can bet on WWE outcomes, and like I get it because technically nobody's supposed to know, but they're predetermined outcomes, so somebody knows, somewhere knows.
And so on Instagram, people have been like, whenever anything, because I like goofy wrestling things, like because I think wrestling is goofy and I love it.
It's so goofy. It's so goofy now.
Every time in the comment section, somebody says, and you believe somebody thinks that wrestling is real, and then it becomes like an argument online.
Nobody thinks it's real anymore.
Nobody thinks it's real. And even then,
in fact,
there's a difference between it being real and being scripted.
I had on our list people who think wrestling is still real. And I meant to, I guess I didn't. And I have to delete it because there doesn't exist. There's nobody. Nobody actually believes it anymore.
Once Twitter teamed up with WWE, nobody believed wrestling was real ever again after that.
No.
And yes, I blame the WWE for Twitter being the way it is now. It was not that powerful back then.
It's not. It's X now, buddy. I refuse to not dead name Twitter though, so it's Twitter.
That's how I see it. I'm going to use my indignation for good.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. So anyway, wait. Any more? Did you have anything else to say about that?
Get a shirt that says "I dead name Twitter."
I dead name Twitter. I'll make it. I'll put it in the shop. I made a toilet squirrel shirt? Did I send that to you yet to look at?
No.
Oh, dude, it's so good. All right, I'll have to send it to you. I didn't put it up in the shop yet, but I'm gonna have to send it to you. Okay. Last night, I go to this comedy show called the Irish Comedy Tour. It's last thing. So here's how this worked out, right? My mother decided to get myself, and both of my brothers 2 tickets each to go to this comedy show, right? And it's like these old Irish dudes, which like apparently 2 of them aren't even Irish. They're like Irish American, which is not Irish to me. Sorry. I think only one of the guys is actually Irish, or maybe 2 out of the 4. One of the guys is definitely...
You're not Irish, you're Irish American.
I mean, you know what I mean. Like, when you say Irish comedy
no, I know.
Tour...
When they say Irish comedy tour, you're expecting
and it's
people from
the fucking
Ireland.
picture's a leprechaun holding a beer and a microphone.
Yeah.
Like, you expect it's Irish people. One of the dudes is definitely Irish. The other 2 dudes are definitely not Irish, because one's from Michigan, one's from Boston. And then the 4th guy, I don't know about, because I didn't stay long enough to find out. Anyway,
mind you, guys, like, he invited me to this. I couldn't go.
I
But
was sad you weren't there
when
because
he texted me, I was glad I didn't go.
dude, okay, well, I was sad you didn't go because I felt bad for the one black dude that was there, that he was by himself. There's this whole crowd of the whitest
what
white
did you
people.
think? Him and I were gonna like form up like Voltron? Like, what did you think was gonna happen?
I thought at least you guys could commit. I told my wife, I was like, look, it's the one guy who doesn't want to be here more than me.
And you want to know the really messed up thing?
But
I was talking to my wife when you invited me, and I said like I was probably gonna be like the only black guy there anyway.
you would have been one of two.
It would have been the second.
And
There can't be two of us. It would have been like a Highlander fight. Me and him would have had to fight.
I was explaining Highlander to my daughter like literally 2 days ago. It's funny you bring that up because I said there could be only one, and she's like, "What?" And I was like, "Oh, there's this movie called Highlander," and she's just like, at the end, she's clearly didn't care.
Yeah,
anyway,
just the airplane flew right over her head.
She bought us these tickets, and like, I like that she was trying, but like, I don't want tickets for something that I don't know about. I don't want to just go to something that I haven't myself decided to go to. So I wasn't like too into it to begin with. And then the big problem was it was supposed to be at the Paramount Theater, right? There's a Paramount Theater about 15 minutes from us.
Yeah.
I assumed that's where it was. I look it up online, and I find the website, Paramount Theater for the Irish Comedy Tour, and I go, this website doesn't look right, because you know who maintains and runs the Paramount Theater local to us's website? I do. So I went, this isn't the website for the Paramount Theater. It's a different Paramount Theater an hour away. So now I have to drive an hour. My brother drove, but now I have to go an hour away to see this show that I didn't really want to see to begin with. So, and then my mother works nights. She hadn't slept before she had to go to work. So she was late getting over here for us to leave. And I texted her and said, if you're tired, just stay home. I don't really want to drive over to this show anyway. And for a minute, I thought I was going to get out of it. And I didn't. So yeah, we go to this show. Yeah, there's one black guy there with his white girlfriend, which was amazing because she dragged him to it. She was like, "Come on, babe." And he was like, "Girl, please don't bring me to this. Please don't bring me to this. Come on, babe."
It happens often.
And she's like, "Come on, man." He's like, "There's just gonna be so many white people there. Please don't bring me."
You don't understand the ratio, and it's Irish, so they're gonna be drinking.
Yeah, dude.
Drunk white people with just one of me.
Dude, I am 41 years old, and other than my brother, I was the youngest person there.
Wow. Yeah, that was okay. So Matt took a picture and sent me a picture, not only of the black guy, so that was creepy.
I sent you a picture of the show.
The people of the show. And I was like, is he at a senior home?
When I sent you a picture of the black guy, my wife was getting so mad. She's like, stop trying to take a picture. I'm trying to take a picture. And I was like, I have to send it to Joaquin. I have to tell him. I have to show him that this poor black guy is the only guy here. Anyway. And then he got up at one point before the show started and left, and I was like, oh, he did it. He did it. He was like, this ain't worth it.
Away.
And then he came back, and I was like, oh, poor guy.
You go and you see a bunch of old white dudes, and you're like,
yeah, dude. Oh, my God. So, anyway. So, it's fine, right? These guys come out. This guy comes out playing guitar, and then a fiddle player comes out, and they play music for maybe a half hour. And, like, they play this parody of Ring of Fire that's about Indian food giving them burning buttholes.
Oh, the Ring of Fire.
Yeah, which was terrible. It was like,
that sounds like an old man joke.
Yeah, it's an old man joke, and I'm like, come on, man, that's like the lowest possible hanging fruit there. But it was fine. Like the fiddle player was really good. Nuts. It's just cool to watch that. But then the first comedian comes out. I guess there's two.
Really missed that joke. I'm hurt.
What'd you say? I didn't hear. What?
You said it's really low hanging fruit, and I said like they're nuts. That broke my heart that you missed it.
I missed it. I thought you said they're nuts. I didn't say like they're nuts. Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hold on. Floaties.
FLOATIES.
They're spelling something in Roblox.
Yeah, that's what my kids do to me all the time.
IES.
Dead space. Dead air. My daughter asked me how to spell exercise just a few minutes ago to type something on Roblox
type
or
on
something.
The phone. Okay.
So the first comedian comes out, and I'm not going to go into great detail about his act, but here's what drove me nuts. He comes out and portrays this very conservative right-wing personality. Like, fuck all this woke shit, you know? This is the only place we're allowed to be yeah, this is the only place. He's an older. This guy's probably 60. I don't know, maybe. This is the only place we're allowed to be irreverent and fucked up and say fucked up shit anymore. This is it. This is the only place we're allowed to do it anymore. And people were clapping, and like I could tell the crowd is a Trump crowd, like almost immediately. But people were like really, and I agree. Yes, right, cool. This is the place we're allowed to make fucked up jokes, and it's okay. We're supposed to be allowed to do it here.
Oh no.
Cool, no problem. But then he starts making his jokes. And again, he starts in on trans, like, oh, the LGBTQ, I don't know all the fucking, and he goes, it's all the bad Scrabble tiles, and I like whispered to my wife, and I was like, L and T are really good Scrabble tiles. The Q's not great, but
he doesn't play Scrabble.
Yeah, I was like, but I'm like, oh, okay, here we go, and the crowd's getting it, yeah, but then he stops and he's like. He makes some sort of transish joke, but then he's like, now, but I'm okay. Whatever you want to be is fine with me. You want to be a boy, a man, well, I don't care.
So he's a little bit of cushion between all that edge.
Then he starts making jokes about abortion, like that are talking about abortion and how it's bad. And then like same thing. But then it's like, but I'm okay with it. I'm pro-choice, but I'm pro-choice. Again.
Was that his gimmick?
Again. Then he starts on politics. Oh, fucking Biden's terrible. Fucking Joe Biden's but Trump's not great either. Yeah, Trump sucks too, though. And
the crowd.
And the crowd's like
into a bunch of werewolves.
No. The crowd was so stupid that they're going nuts when he's talking about Joe Biden. Then he's like, Trump's kind of a knucklehead too, and they're still like, woo! They didn't even catch on.
He said a naughty thing.
But I got so frustrated because I'm like, you started out this show by talking about how this is a place where we could say fucked up shit and it's okay. But then every time you said something fucked up, you backtracked and you leaned back from it. So which is it, buddy? Is this the place where you could say how you feel and say fucked up shit? Or are you going to cushion yourself every time you say something? Take a stance. Either go all in and make jokes about trans people like Chappelle does and be unapologetic about it because it's a joke and people should be able to take it. Or don't.
Yeah.
Like, don't back off of your jokes and try to, like,
absolutely.
Oh, yeah, I'm just kidding.
I'm so tired of that personality that's grown since, with comedians. The, like, we can't be funny no more personality. I can't stand it.
But
it
Jesus,
is the most
like,
self-aggrandizing baby nonsense.
Look, I get it to a degree. I get that there's they go out to shows and there are people that want to throw a fucking fit or walk out, or they go to college campuses and they just get fucking heckled. I get those things. But you can't come out and talk about how this is the place where we could say fucked up shit and then not be able to say your fucked up shit without.
So hold on. Tell me you didn't grow up with the stereotype. Like, just knowing of the stereotype. Sure. Maybe we've never seen it in our lifetime.
Okay.
Somebody goes on stage like a comedian and they're not funny, so people throw tomatoes at them.
Mm-hmm. Of course, that's. I mean,
that
you
is
can watch
the modern day equivalent of that.
That's
is
true.
Literally getting heckled.
I mean, you can watch cartoons from the 40s where they're throwing tomatoes at people on a stage. Yeah,
that's literally the equivalent of that. They're throwing tomatoes. That's all those people are doing.
No, that's true.
Getting canceled usually entails you saying something terrible and then having a terrible past connected to that.
I will say, though, I do believe there are people that will specifically go to a comedy show just to be assholes.
You are absolutely right. They are hecklers. That's what a real heckler is. I mean, it also is part of that weird thing that now, like, a lot of up-and-coming comedians do, where for some reason they can have like an entire back catalog of heckle videos where they get heckled and they just own this heckler.
Right.
Like, I'm after about the 50th video, I'm like, I think they might be fake because you're just not that witty. You would be a more popular comedian if you were that witty.
I see them on YouTube pretty often. You're right. Yeah, I didn't think of it that way, but you're probably right. But anyway, I was just so thrown off and just irritated by make your jokes, and move on. Don't backtrack on everything after you've made your joke. And the funny thing is, he's killing. He's in a crowd where everybody there seems to be really conservative and probably Trump lovers.
But they're all old. Their brains are mostly mush anyway.
But my point is, make your fucking anti-trans jokes you're killing. Everybody's laughing their ass
Yeah.
off at him.
And just keep
move
going.
on. Like, why are you then backtracking? Like, oh,
Because he
but
doesn't
I'm okay
want
with
that
it.
one person to get offended
I guess.
and then come after
I
him.
did yell at somebody. They go, please, no flash photography or video recording during the show. And it starts, and immediately this one bitch 2 rows in front of me picks up her phone with the flash on, recording video. And
because
I just
they're old
yelled.
people.
I went, shut the fucking thing off. And this guy in front of me was like, yeah, turn it off. Which she then did. I don't know. You can ask my wife. I yell at people and
Oh, I don't have to ask your wife. I've seen you do it.
I do it all the time. But anyway, it was just, and then we left. They had an intermission, and I was like, let's go home. I just wanted.
No, I'm glad you didn't stay there. Just because I could feel your misery through the text.
Yeah.
Like, through text alone.
I mean, it wasn't.
Is it lame? You're like, it's real bad.
Well, when I got there, I was just like, oh my God, it's all old people here. It's just like, this is not going to be. And like, they had video clips playing, and I'm like, of the tour.
Yeah.
I was just like, this isn't going to be good. And it wasn't like bad. Like the musician guys were fine. And the comedian was like, some stuff was funny. He had a couple funny jokes here and there. It wasn't like awful.
Glad he's doing well. Like, he had a good night, because that's not easy. Let's be real here. Stand up is not easy. Going up in front of people and speaking your mind or making up jokes, it's not easy. So to have a good night is good.
There are also like 2 rows behind us. There's just this whole group of drunk hens. Like, just I don't know. Must have been
I wouldn't be able to handle that.
Must have been like 6 to 8 hens. I couldn't hear most of what they said.
Tell me, at least one of them laughed like this.
Oh yeah, dude, one of them.
Yeah, it's always one.
One of them.
Always one that laughs like that.
They would not shut up. Everything he said, they're like, ah! They're like yelling, and they're like, he's like, oh, he said something about like people saying they're gonna move to Canada if Trump wins, and he's like, well, go the fuck ahead. And like, they're that group. They're like, yeah, get out of here.
But everyone does that.
And
if President A becomes president. If this person becomes president, I'll move to Canada.
I only really heard when they were yelling.
That does that.
Yeah,
or Texas is always seceding over some nonsense. Like, it's the same.
Whatever.
Same garbage.
It's
every
bullshit.
time.
Yeah. But my brother was close to them, so he said they were talking the whole time, and he's like, one of the women was like, I think I just shit my pants, and then they all started talking to her about it. He was like, I couldn't stand it. I was like, I'm glad I couldn't hear everything they were saying. I could only hear when they were yelling, because if I heard them just talking the whole time, I would have gotten kicked out of the theater, which would have been fine.
Oh, absolutely.
I would have been okay with
knowing
it.
you, that absolutely.
I would
never come back. I wasn't planning on it.
I know. I totally would have been. Could you dumb fucking cunts just shut up for 5 seconds, please, please, please? If you shit your pants, go fucking clean yourself up and stop talking about it.
Change your Depends.
So that's that. So speaking of these fucking ladies all out there having a good time, being obnoxious and being stupid, here's the perfect segue
to begin.
You like that? Our topic today, as we previously announced, is woo girls. Good old woo girls. You guys know what I'm talking about. It's those broads. That's right. I'm going to say broads that go out and they're just obnoxious and they're super drunk and they're loud and they won't leave anybody alone and they're just going woo the whole time. And that's essentially what I ran into last night. So it worked out very well. What?
I'm just so proud of you.
What? Because I made a good segue for once?
That was such a good segue.
I know it was.
I'm so proud of you.
I'm so good, right? Yeah, it's the first time in 42 episodes I've actually made the segue work into our topic.
So I legit have tears in my eyes. That was good.
So yeah, these ladies last night are exactly what I'm talking about. Like, they clearly just were like, we're gonna get super drunk, we're gonna go out to this public event at this fucking show, and we're just gonna be obnoxious, loud, rude, and make everyone have a worse time. Again, like, I don't have a lot of experience in clubs or bars or anything like that, but I know that that's, same thing happens there. This is a paid event where people paid money to come watch a show on stage. In fact, it was funny, at the very beginning, the one guy, like, one of the women tried to say something to him, and he was like, did you pay money to come here and have conversation or see the show? And he's like, I don't care. I get paid either way. And then
Yep.
like that was kind of it for a little while, but then they immediately started up again as soon as the comedian came out. That guy kind of shut him down. But what is the deal? Like, and I'm sure there's I guess there's probably like there's frat guys that's probably a woo girl equivalent. There's like, you know,
Yeah, the dude
bros, you know, there's an equivalent out
Yeah.
there. But what makes these people decide that they need to go out and ruin everybody else's time for their own benefit? Where does that selfishness come from? Deep inside, is it the alcohol? Is it?
I mean,
is it
usually
the,
alcohol's
the
involved.
mob mentality that they're like, we're all here together, so we're all gonna act like assholes?
That absolutely can play a part.
All right, so I just answered it. That's it for the show, guys.
Yeah. No, I mean, a lot of it's maturity too. You know, like, you've been to a diner and you saw a bunch of teenagers at the table,
Yup.
and they're all trying to do an increasingly more silly, obnoxious things, but like,
Yes.
hey, let's stack all the forks and all together, and then like pour ketchup all over it.
I
and
used to
stick the straw wrappers to it. Like,
when we used to go to the diner. Yeah, there was always somebody that would take a cup and then like just fill it with like ketchup and mustard and like just dumb shit.
That immaturity
and ice and like salt, and it's like, what the? I'd be even then like at like 20, I'd be like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah,
Why the fuck
yeah.
are you doing that, you fucking moron? Like, you know, someone is gonna have to clean that now, right? Like, you not thinking about this? Do you not care? But you're right. Maturity does have a lot to do with it. But these were hens. Like, these were middle-aged women.
They were past matured. They were detoured. They were already disintegrating.
Like I
before
said,
your eyes.
they were all clearly like, no man's ever gonna fuck them. So they got together in this group and they were like, we're just gonna go out and ruin people's lives. Too much.
There was a lot of venom behind that.
I was gonna say too much salt, but too much venom on there.
There's so much venom.
little too much edge on that one.
I mean, oh god, like, you know what? There was a time where like I kind of liked woo girls, but that was also
Really?
I was like 22.
And what did you like about them? That they were probably down to fuck.
Yeah, I was like 22.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, that's my point. Like this,
and
I'm not.
Always,
to be clear, I'm not saying
as a singular
all...
black guy. As a singular black guy.
Wait, did you say singular or do you mean single?
Both.
I don't think you used the right word.
I did. I meant to say singular black guy, like by myself. I could jump into a woo girl's, and being the fact that I like to talk.
You sure you didn't mean single?
I can. No, I didn't mean single because I'm not single.
I think you meant single.
No, I didn't.
We're talking about at the time, though. We're not talking about now, right?
But I'm as singular. That means like not in a group. I was not in a group. I was by myself.
Yeah, I think you meant
not
single.
Dating anybody. Had nothing to do with dating anybody.
I think you used the wrong word.
I think you're obsessing over a word incorrectly.
I'm just trying to irritate you.
You're not. You're just confusing me.
Okay, as a singular, because you're like a celled organism. We need to use the word singular. Go ahead.
That means I'm not attached to a group. Yes.
Fuck
I
you.
was not attached.
Fuck you.
Like, I don't have to be part of a group.
Fucking tell your story.
If I went to a bar and there were woo girls,
okay,
I could attach myself to them very easily. Not to get laid or anything, even though that was kind of the goal at my dumb younger age.
You said as a singular black guy, so how does the black play into it?
Because of the stereotype and living in the area we lived in.
Were they just like, ooh, daddy's gonna think this is dangerous?
No, I've dealt with that multiple times.
Really?
I've had my share of, don't let my dad know that we're messing around.
That's so fucking bad.
And not because I'm a guy.
And we're talking like 20
I've dealt with that
years
a lot
ago?
in my life. Wow.
20?
I'm that old?
I mean, is that what we're talking? Like, that's not that long ago.
I was like 22, so like almost 18.
That's so bad that only 20 years ago, that was still an issue where people were like, my dad's going to be mad if they find out I was messing around with a black guy.
My current wife, her parents, I've had to deal with that.
Yeah,
her parents are great now.
Yeah, but didn't you?
Because
you said, but didn't you say that kind of eased in that like it wasn't that?
It wasn't that bad, but when you're a younger guy, that's not.
I like how I'm minimizing. Like, it wasn't that bad that he was upset about you being black.
but also being like living. I lived up here before like people started moving up here. like this area was very white when I moved here as a kid.
Yeah, it was.
And then like people from the city, a lot of Mexican people moved in, a lot of Puerto Rican people moved in,
Yeah,
a lot of black people moved in.
It's funny 'cause-
Asian people started moving in recently.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in Middletown itself, and it was the whitest of white when I was growing up, and it's a very largely Hispanic city now.
And then when I hit, I want to say middle school is when they all started coming in. It was really fast.
Right.
It was like anti-gentrification. It just like happened.
reverse
gentrification. and then we became like, because I was like one of the 3 black kids in my classes for a long time up until like middle school.
Yeah, I mean that.
So
if I think back to when I was in school, yeah, that's probably sounds like a reasonable number in a class.
Yeah,
I probably had 2 or 3 black kids in a class. And when I think about elementary school, even I had I had 2 black friends when I was in elementary school, and I don't know if they were the only 2 kids in my class. They might have been.
Look,
well, one of them had a brother, so there was at least 3.
This is how bad it was. In my kindergarten class, I had 1 black friend with that, and we weren't friends because we were in the same class, because we weren't. We played on the playground, and we saw each other in the halls.
Yeah.
We saw each other again in and people would mix us up all the time. Him and I do not look alike.
It's so bad.
But they would mix us up all the time. And we had the same jacket. We also did have the same jacket, but he had a bigger jacket.
Well, that's why you had the same jacket.
No, we didn't wear the jacket all the time, man. And I had a flat top, and he did not.
Well, I mean,
but we saw each other again in high school.
Yeah,
years passed, and we recognized each other because it wasn't that there wasn't that much variety. We would just be able to see each other.
Yeah, dude, I remember.
But oh, sorry, go on.
No, I'm thinking back because I'm thinking back now to like elementary school. I had my friend Raheem, which is funny. It's very similar to your name in sound, and my friend Corey. And even just being friends with them was like weird because it was almost like, how do I explain this? Like it was almost like we couldn't relate to each other. Like when we were at each other's houses, it was
your
so
growing
different.
Experiences were very different.
Yeah, it was. But I'm only thinking of it now how awkward it was sometimes when we were hanging out because our experiences were so different. As in our childhoods. So anyway, go ahead.
No, but that's the thing. Like, and at some points, you have to kind of take advantage of certain things.
Raheem. It was Raheem, not Raheem.
Raheem.
Sorry.
No, that is very similar.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you would take advantage of certain things, especially like, white girls would be curious about certain things about you.
I get it. Yeah, so you did. Like your dick size?
And woo girls always were that kind of girl.
They're wondering if it was really as big as they say.
Exactly.
I can totally see that. See, look, so you got one advantage out of it.
The one, thank you.
That's
being humanized.
That's so fucked up though to think about for me. Like, it's so like I've never had to think about that. Like, I've never met a girl and had to think about like, is her parent gonna be okay with me coming to her house?
That's not because you're a dude.
Not true. That's not
because
true.
you're a guy.
That's not true.
Because that happens when you're a guy.
Wait, no, that's not
just
true.
Just being a guy alone.
That's not
this
true.
happened?
There was a Puerto Rican girl that I never really dated, but she didn't want her parents to see me ever. Like, we were just kind of hanging out, but she didn't want.
It's shameful.
She did not want.
It's really shameful.
Yeah, she was like, my parents and her brothers too. She's like, they can't see you. She's like, if my brothers see you, they will beat the shit out of you.
They will beat the shit out of you. I knew what that was
literally
going.
what she would say. Because she had
almost
like
exclusively dated Puerto Rican girls.
She had like this really big house in Goshen, and like she had like literally like antique room, those rooms, those museum rooms that you can't go in her house.
Oh yep.
And
my grandmother used to have one of those.
Like the only time she'd invite me and like our friend group over would be if nobody was home. It was really fucked up. Anyway.
But yeah, so just imagine that repeatedly, all the time, no matter who.
Yeah, that's. And to me, it was just like, all right, whatever. Because like,
and I had a crush on the only other black girl and she did not have a crush. She did not like me at all like that. She was a close friend, and that was
she
it.
have to because you're both
No,
the only
she
two
didn't.
black kids?
No, she didn't. But it's just funny how that worked out. Like, you just like white girls. No, I just grew up around them.
Yeah.
Like, there's a difference.
Yeah. I didn't have any selection to choose from, man.
The only other black girl did not like me back. What am I supposed to do about that? Like, with that?
I don't know. Use eHarmony.
eHarmony
did not exist.
I can't get into that story.
Anyway, wait.
I did try to make a profile. It did not work. It said it could not match me. But
wait, what? Error. You are too dark.
Said it could not match me.
You are too dark. You do not match. Because every woman on there set their criteria. They probably had like that Peter Griffin little paint chip thing
needs to be over
with
this
all
height.
the shades. No, all the skin shades.
Oh my god! I wasn't even going to say my race for that one.
And all the women.
I was just going to say I was such a weirdo.
There's a little slider, and the women were allowed to pick how dark they wanted their match to be.
But anyway, like I could integrate with woo girls really well. Like I would at least
see that.
Like I would at least get an emotional boost from getting female attention.
I can see that. No, that makes sense.
Because I wasn't always I wasn't always trying to get laid, but I was always trying to get what's the word, emotional validation.
So for you, woo girls weren't necessarily the worst thing in the world. They gave you
not until I got older.
Well, once you got older, they're just annoying cunts.
And I don't mean like at my age now. I mean like about 3 or 4 years later, I started getting annoyed with woo girls.
Yeah.
Because there's no substance behind it. And what happened is because I had to babysit a woo girl for about 2 years. Because she was part of my friends. She was in my group of friends.
Okay.
And she would get really drunk.
Oh, okay. I was very confused that you were babysitting
that type
friend.
that type of babysitting.
Got it, okay.
She would get really drunk. And
like,
I would have to stop her for and she would start and it would go from that to drama to like say I love you, you're like the best. I just
sucked so many dicks.
I've had to hold her hair while she vomited.
I just threw up so much semen.
Tell me how messed up it is that I had to shower with her. Yeah, no, that was gross. I was trying not to.
All right. Anyway, you had to shower.
No, but I had to shower with her.
Tell more.
Because she had gotten vomit all over her, and I was drunk too.
I don't know.
And I was just like, I had to take care of her, and I had to stop her from climbing into.
I bet you had to take care of her.
No, we never actually slept together.
Oh, good. Because if you did, you would be a rapist.
Yeah. I was in there with I asked because we were at my friend's party. She was drunk, and then were
you the singular black man there?
No, I wasn't. I was not. This was years later.
Okay.
But I had to wear I had to wear her swim trunks.
Okay.
Because she's tomboyish. So
I was just gonna say,
she has a lot of guys' clothes.
Thong or.
No, I had to wear her swim trunks.
Wait, women have swim trunks?
She's a tomboy. She dressed like a guy.
I don't think I've ever seen a woman in swim trunks before, but okay.
You've never seen her? Yeah, she wears swim trunks.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen a woman in
She's like a bunch of tattoos. She's married now.
Obviously,
she has a wife.
Not something that I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I don't think I've ever seen a woman in swim trunks.
She was one of my best friends. Like, me and her both took care of this girl all the time.
Okay.
And she threw up all over herself. She threw up all over me, and we're like, I have to wear these swim trunks while bathing because I don't want to be in there naked. I even had the door open so people could tell like I'm not doing anything.
Yeah, no, I get it. That's probably smart.
Like I was paranoid, but she would only trust me to take care of her. Exactly, she would only trust me to take care of her all the time.
Right,
because I did it over and over again, and we were also coworkers. So stupid, I know, but I got so jaded from having to take care of her. There was a bunch of dudes in a car trying to get her to go into the car, and she was drunkenly trying to go in. And I was like, I'm going to get beat up and killed by 3 random dudes because I'm not going to let you just get in their car so they can dump you on the side of the road later.
Right. Yeah.
And it just messed me up with like the woo girl type.
So what happened
with the car thing?
Yeah. No,
they were pissed. Oh, they were pissed. We left right after. I drove drunk. I know that was unsafe. but it was only like up the street
Joaquin!
because I was not going to get killed by a bunch of random dudes, and
No,
they
that's
were
fair.
looking for us.
Oh, that's fair.
You
should have just.
and
you
again, it
should've
was
just,
right up the
You
street.
should have just been like, I don't know. I can't think of anything.
And again, I was like in my early 20s. I did a lot of stupid crap. We all do really stupid crap. That
Of course. It's funny now,
and
like as a 40-year-plus-year-old person, and I look
You're
at
just like,
20-year-olds, and I'm just like, man, I remember being 20-something and thinking like, oh, 18-year-olds are such babies. Like, no, they're babies too. 26.
And mind you, I was already
You're still a kid,
at my
man.
worst. Yep, I was already at my worst emotionally because a long-term girlfriend of mine and I broke up, so I was like partying all the time.
Okay.
So that's how I got that experience.
So you had direct experience with woo girls in their
Yeah.
their natural environment.
Yeah.
Most of my experience
they
was
were fun at parties though, usually.
yeah. Oh, so what are we doing this episode for? You seem to love woo girls.
No, I don't. I have both ends of the problem with them.
My core experience with woo girls has always been at events because I've gone to hundreds of concerts, so many concerts, and it was always the woo girls that fucking ruined everything for me. And I don't know, I don't know if it was just my own internal anger boiling up at just these people having fun and I wasn't. And I was just mad.
How could you just be having so much fun?
I think in most cases it was similar to like it was last night, where it was just these people who were just being so obnoxious and ruining the show or ruining the concert, whatever I was at, for everybody else that was there, and just making it a miserable experience and just being loud, not shutting up, yelling about everything, interrupting the whatever we were like, whether it was a show or a concert, interrupting whatever was going on, and just detracting from my ability, and I'm sure most of the people around me's ability to enjoy it. I used to love when the mosh pits would open up and there'd be some woo girls in there because I just, it's just dark, you couldn't really see, but anybody that came near their mosh pit, I'd just throw some elbows at whoever was in there.
I never understood.
Mosh pits? You never understood mosh pits? So,
I do.
There's different types of mosh pits. All right?
I do understand them.
And this, I'm going back.
It's just that, go on.
There's two different types of mosh pits, all right? There were mosh pits that I would get into where people were just kind of dancing around, like
pushing each other.
Just pushing around, pushing off of each other. And then there were the mosh pits where people were just swinging, swinging fists, swinging elbows. Those were the ones where I would literally just stand on the outside, and as somebody would come by me, I would just slap an elbow into their fucking head. Because I thought they were morons. Because in that case, I was like, you're a bunch of morons. You're just running around trying to hurt each other. So I'm going to stand here where you can't hurt me, and as you pass me by, drunk out of your mind, I'm just going to clip you in the side of your head and knock you down. And feel good about the fact that I
get that
I knocked like your ass out.
I get that mosh pits are like an aggression orgy, but I just...
to an extent,
I don't want to leave. I don't want to go to a concert.
That type is,
and then leave with a bloody nose.
Yeah, but that's that
something.
Type. The other type of mosh pit is just white people dancing.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like,
it's just we don't know how to dance, so we just kind of like
dudes are like bouncing around and bumping into each other and pushing a little bit.
We don't really know how to dance.
Like hyper aggressive.
That's it. We don't know how to dance, so that's our way of dancing. We're just kind of bouncing off of each other and like, yeah.
No. See, I've also adapted that. White people do know how to dance. They know how to do everyone else's dances.
I'm just speaking for myself. I mean, I've seen TikTok. I know there are white people that know how to dance because they've learned, whatever the fucking dance is and then repeated it on TikTok for some time.
Not learned, appropriated. No, I'm just kidding.
Goddamn cultural appropriators. Stealing those dances.
You're saying TikTok. That's the perfect place for them to say that.
They're like, Beyonce did this dance, now I'm gonna do it. Fucking appropriators. Well, fucking Beyonce's appropriated now too. She has a #1 country album. She's appropriating country culture, man. What the fuck's she doing on our charts, man?
They don't know how to be in the fields.
They don't know what it's like to have a shotgun.
You don't want to say that.
Yeah, you say
you don't want to say that.
I think you misspoke.
I don't.
Why's Beyonce on top of the country charts? Fuck, she know about country music.
What do they know about rope?
You know what I loved? When she put out Lemonade, she had Daddy Issues on it, which was her first, as far as I know, go at country songs. And it's such a good song. It's like one of my favorite songs. And it's so much better than any other country song.
Daddy's the only reason why she's as popular as she is.
Well, yeah, but she put out that song, I believe, specifically to be like, I can fucking make country music. I think it was a kind of a dig at Taylor Swift. Like,
I mean,
I can do that shit too.
She's not even doing much of anything anyway.
Well, she's got a new album coming out.
She doesn't need to.
So she released.
But what I'm saying, she doesn't need to. So that's why she's doing this.
I prefer Beyonce to Taylor Swift because Beyonce is not just everywhere and full of herself. She just makes music and she's married to Jay-Z, which makes her pretty cool. You know.
I mean, I find all of that kind of vapid, but I do prefer Beyonce talent-wise
if I had to pick
to Taylor Swift.
Plus, I mean, come on, Destiny's Child.
Yeah. I can't stop seeing the tragedy of Destiny's Child.
Why?
So.
You feel bad for the other 3 girls? Well, 4 altogether.
No, I just find it all a tragedy. Just, I don't know. My wife was just introduced my daughter to Destiny's Child.
Oh, I played Say My Name for my daughter a few months ago.
That was what we played!
Yeah, she didn't totally get into it. I was upset. I was like, I guess I should go on Bills. Yeah, sorry.
But yeah, like, and also like the stereotype for woo girls would be like the bachelorette party.
Yeah,
in
100%. That is quintessential woo girl. Bachelorette party.
And it's not literally the princess in the middle that's the problem. It's the entourage.
Yeah. I mean, we already discussed it.
That feed each other.
It's that mob mentality. They're all together and they're just like, we're getting drunk. Our inhibitions are down.
It's my day. I had a terrible week and I'm going to make this night last forever.
I'm going to fuck everything that moves. Woo! I'm not saying all bachelorettes go out and fuck everything that moves. I'm just,
You are really into the woo girl sleeping with that. I think they like teasing people, but not necessarily.
You think so?
doing
I don't
it.
know. I associate woo girl with promiscuousness. I guess because of all the alcohol involved. When I consider woo girl, think about woo girls.
Again, the woo girl that I took care of wasn't like it was weird. Depending on how much she drank, because again, the thing with the guys, I think she was doing that because she was pissed off.
Oh, dude, please don't tell me you were like cleaning the semen off of her face after she got done with her night.
No. It's literally, I'm saying the opposite.
I'm sorry, I can't help myself.
How are you stuck on this?
I can't help myself. It's funny.
I see that.
I
It's
just
gross.
picture you with a wet napkin. You're like, it's too dry. I gotta get a comb.
Put her over my shoulder and burp her like a baby.
Oh God!
You started it.
Oh, you just put a really gross picture into my head. Oh. All right, I'm done.
No,
I'm sorry for anyone I
what?
may have offended with my associating woo girls with promiscuousness, but it's funny to me. I don't.
But she's doing well now though. She's been married for the last 5 years.
Good. Does her husband know about her?
And she seems to have her stuff together now, but I think she might have sworn off drinking. That's what happened.
It's probably a good idea. It sounds like
a lot of it is like that. I want to cut loose, but I'm like, you don't want to cut loose.
When you
because
reach
you
a
might
certain
not get
age,
something back.
Yeah, when you reach a certain age, if you cut loose, you're going to be floating aimlessly through the ocean by yourself.
Yeah.
To call back to our last episode, you were going to be floating in the middle of the very barren and wide and endless ocean
of semen. I was just you just brought it there, so I figured I'd just end it there.
Fair enough. All right, guys. Next week, our topic is going to be fanboys. So we're going to follow up woo girls with fanboys. And I'm sure, you know what we're talking about.
Wait!
You know what we're talking about. People who are just completely obsessed with something, some particular, whatever it is, some pop culture thing. I'm going to talk. I am a Google fanboy, or I have been until late. So I am myself. This is a self-loathing episode we're going to get to, my own self-loathing over my fanboyism of Google, but you know what we're talking about. So if you just so happen to have any fanboy stories, whether it's you or someone you know that's just
comic books, anything, because I'm a
comic
Batman
books,
fanboy,
video games, movies, any sort of pop culture shit, music, anything you can be a fan of, you can be a fanboy of. or Fangirl. You can send us an email, podcast@atiwihy.com. That's podcast@atiwihy.com. Or you can leave us a voicemail, 929-564-4262. And as always, you go check out the website. I think we'll have some new t-shirts there soon. What were we just saying we should make a t-shirt of?
Well, you say you're going to show me Toilet Squirrel.
Yeah, but there was something right before that you said, and I said, "Oh, t-shirt."
I think it's I'll always dead name Twitter or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. We'll probably have a couple of shirts up soon. I think I have some others that I just never put up either. So check the website out. Twitter. You can listen to old episodes, any of them. You can also obviously get this anywhere podcasts are. Well, if you're fucking listening to this, you already know that, so I don't know why I'm telling you that. But tell somebody, go tell one person to listen to our podcast. I'm going to steal the obelisk scheme from ICS, where they just say, go tell a single person about the podcast. It's not a pyramid scheme, it's an obelisk scheme.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, just one person. But yeah, thanks guys. Thank you for listening. Joaquin, anything you want to
Always
add?
appreciated. Oh, are these your son's pants?
Yeah, those are my son's pants. You know, it's funny. I thought I had them when I left Taekwondo the other day, and I guess I didn't.
Nope. I now am in possession of your son's pants.
You creepy motherfucker. What a weird thing to say. How'd you get my son's pants, Joaquin?
Hey, you shouldn't have left them for me to get.
We're both deviant.
Bye.
Peace.
Later.